no, and only 31.8% yes. So as JP mentioned, if anybody that needs help, you can try and contact them. I can't see if there's anyone. So it appears we're good to go. Okay, we're good to go. Okay, you can just come up here and you can talk to JP about that. What's going on? It's got one person. Sorry, it's really hard to see up here. Okay. Okay, so I will ask the readers to read the operative clause of resolution number 1.
Resolution number 1-18A.
Not very good sound.
I did. Resolution. There we go. Resolution number 1-18A. SARM Governance Bylaw, Point of Privilege Resolutions, RM of Estevan number 5, RM of Merrifield number 91. Be it resolved that SARM Governance Bylaw 2016-01 be amended to remove Section 57 regarding point of privilege resolutions, as well as reference to point of privilege resolutions in Section 55 of the bylaw.
Okay, do we have a mover for this resolution? Okay, could I have the sound on mic 1, please? Could you repeat that, please?
Terry Keating, RM number 5, I'll move that resolution.
Okay, do you wish to speak to that?
No, I think it's self-explanatory, so it's in conjunction with the RM of Merrifield, possibly they want to speak to it.
Okay, is there anyone else who would like to speak to it? It doesn't appear to be, but I'd just like to clarify, because this is a bylaw amendment, we need 2/3 of a majority for this to pass. So seeing no one else come to speak, I will call for the question. You can vote 1 in favor or 2 opposed.
Changes. Turn and face the strain. Changes. Don't wanna be a richer man. Changes. Turn and face the strain.
That's not carried. Okay, that motion is lost. It didn't require the 2/3 majority. So we'll go on to resolution number 2.
Resolution number 2-18A. Critical Incident Stress Management for Saskatchewan Firefighters. RM of Edenwald number 158.
I'll ask for a mover for that sorry.
Just 1 second. Be it resolved that the Saskatchewan Association of Rural Municipalities assess a one-time per capita levy of 50 cents for all the residents in its member municipalities. Be it further resolved that these funds collected be placed in trust with the Saskatchewan Volunteer Firefighters Association, with account oversight from the Saskatchewan Association of Fire Chiefs.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a mover? Mike number 2?
158. Woohoo!
Wow. Okay.
I'll stand a little closer, okay?
Yeah, thanks, Kim.
Yeah.
Would you like to speak to it?
Yes, please.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm Kim McIver, Administrator for the Army Edenwald, and I've been directed by Council to speak to this motion. This is a very important motion, we feel, province-wide. The volunteer firefighters are a very key element of all of our protective services throughout this province. The critical response team was implemented approximately January 1st of 2016, and has responded to in excess of 35 calls for peer counseling since that inception. As volunteer firefighters, it's hard enough to get money to do equipment and training, and we sure need money for them for help. They respond to any volunteer firefighter in the province, regardless of whether or not they hold membership in their association or not, with training from fellow firefighters and any mental health professionals as required. Currently, this is funded by volunteer firefighters themselves through the Volunteer Firefighter Association, the Saskatchewan Association of Fire Chiefs. Each provide $1,000 each to their membership, but the grant money alone is not sufficient for the training required. The program is an immediate need for counseling services that is usually deployed within 24 to 48 hours after a call for support. This is a very similar process to what the RCMP have for their trauma support teams. We ask the SARM delegates to support this much needed support system for volunteer firefighters throughout our province. Thank you.
Mic number 1.
Carmen Sterling on behalf of the SARM Board of Directors, and we would just like to comment on the logistics of assessing the one-time per capita levy of 50 cents for all residents in member municipalities. SARM does charge an annual membership fee to our members, for which they receive services, access to programs, advocacy, and support. These membership fees assist in funding the operation of the association on an annual basis, and SARM currently has 100% of the rural municipalities in the province as our members. The challenge is what happens if an RM does not agree with the 50-cent levy? What are the repercussions of not paying the levy? Do we revoke a membership as a result? If so, this would mean SARM has the potential of losing members, hence less funding to operate. Decreased funding would lead to decreased services to the members. An important side note that we also wanted to share is that the SARM Insurance and Benefits Program currently covers short-term disability, accidental death and dismemberment, and death benefit for volunteer firefighters. This is all covered under the group appointed and elected officials. The SARM Insurance and Benefit Department has been investigating the possibility of providing coverage which would allow access to mental health support, including critical incident stress management as well. Coverages like this exist in BC and Manitoba, and we are hopeful to roll it out for 2019.
Mic number 4.
Tom McKnight, RM 520. Did I hear you say that if all the RMs didn't opt in, there'd be some kind of repercussions? Is that what I heard you say? Before I speak?
No, sorry. No, the questions that we were asking that we feel need to be answered in this is, are there, as a required levy, what would the repercussions be? Those were more of a question format than a statement. We're not sure how this would be handled should it be passed, is all. Okay, well, our RM, at least council, is not in favor of this. We talked to our volunteer fire department, which is the Lakeland Volunteer Fire Department. Critical incident stress management is very important. You're going to take the 50 cents, and for example, what are you going to do if we don't? Is there going to be some kind of a penalty which then turns into blackmail? And what happens when the 50 cents runs out? Our fire department thinks strongly that we should be lobbying the government to pay for this 100%, 100%, so it doesn't run out of money. When that 50 cents is gone, do we just leave all these people hanging?
Anyone else? Doesn't appear that there is anyone else, so I will call for the question. You can vote now, 1 in favor or 2 opposed.
Whenever I chance to meet some old friends on the street, they wonder, how does a man get to be this way?
That's lost. There are 84% opposed and 15.9% in favor. Resolution number 3.
Okay, resolution number 318A, timelines for municipal acquisition of land from the Ministry of Agriculture, RM of Loon Lake, number 561. Be it resolved that an appraisal company listed on the Ministry of Agriculture Lands Branch approved list of appraisers be allowed to be hired by a municipality without prior meetings or consultations with the ministry, thereby avoiding unnecessary delays. Be it further resolved that the Ministry of Agriculture Lands Branch implement a policy to complete the review and sale of Crown land to a municipality within a 6-month period.
I need a mover for that resolution.
That's Loon Lake RM.
Okay. Do you wish to speak to it?
It's pretty self-explanatory, but we're trying to build a lagoon at Loon Lake, and we were quoted like $5,000 an acre from the Sask Ag, and that was over 2 years ago, and we objected to that, and since then we had no communication from them, no resolution from them to say we can go ahead, and yet our grant is money. We've been approved for the grant, and yet we can't proceed because Sask Ag is dragging their heels, and we just want them to act in a timely manner.
Anyone else? It doesn't appear so, so I will call for the question. You can vote now. Vote 1 in favor or 2 opposed. That resolution is carried, 87% in favor, 12.7 opposed. Resolution number 4.
Resolution number 4-18A, the Weed Control Act, RM of Bengoff number 40. Be it resolved that SARM lobby the provincial government to amend the Weed Control Act to allow for all costs incurred by a municipality with relation to detecting, notifying, corresponding, controlling, etc., prohibited, noxious, and nuisance weeds to be recovered in the same manner as taxes pursuant to the Cities Act, the Municipalities Act, or the Northern Municipalities Act.
Okay, is there a mover for that resolution? Mike 4?
Perry Jones from RM 40.
Okay, do you wish to speak to it?
I think it's pretty well self-explanatory.
Okay, anyone else? Doesn't appear it's so I will call for the question. You can vote now, 1 in favor or 2 opposed. That resolution is carried, 85.7 in favor, 14% opposed. Resolution number 5.
Resolution number 5-18A, Club Route Map, RM of Fertile Belt number 183. Be it resolved that SARM lobby the Ministry of Agriculture to publish an updated club route map annually.
The mover for that resolution?
183.
Okay. Would you like to speak?
Yes, it's pretty self-explanatory, but club route being the economic disaster that could happen to agriculture and the economy of Saskatchewan, I think we need to get the provincial government more involved with some of the regulations, and I'd ask you to support this.
Any other speakers? Anyone else? Doesn't appear so. Okay, I will call for the question. You can vote now, 1 in favor or 2 opposed.
Stand in the place where you live, now face no. Think about direction, wonder why you have it now. Stand in the place where you were, now face west. Think about
That That resolution is carried, 93.5 and 6.5 opposed. Okay, next resolution, number 6.
Resolution number 6-18A, Club Route and Equipment, RM of Fertile Belt number 183. Be it resolved that SARM lobby the provincial government to make it mandatory for the origin of all used equipment sold in Saskatchewan to be stated.
Okay, mover, Mike 1. Would you like to speak to that as well?
Yeah, just that Club Root is soil-borne, so if you're buying used equipment and you don't know where it came from, and it came from an area that has Club Root, you could bring it onto your farm, and we think it's very important that you know where it came from.
Anyone else? No, so I'll call for the question. You can vote now. 1 in favor or 2 opposed. That's carried as well, 69.1 and versus 30.8. Resolution number 7, please.
7-18A, Club Route Sanitation Facilities, RM of Fertile Belt, number 183. Be it resolved that SARM lobby the provincial government to provide a list of certified sanitation facilities.
Mover, Mike 1.
183.
Yes.
Yeah, again, it's to do with it being soil-borne, and just steam cleaning it isn't sufficient. You need to have a chlorine solution on it, and it needs to be there for a certain length of time, so it would be very helpful if we had certified sanitation places where if you buy this machinery, you can have it cleaned properly.
Anyone else? I see some. Mike 2. Would you like to speak to that?
Ray Hameline from the RM of Aberdeen. I guess we're in favor of the spirit of the motion, but as farmers, we have bigger concerns with the spread of Club Root with our Crown Corps. They all hold easements to our property. They're on and off our land on a daily basis. I don't see any of them washing their tires or their vehicles off, their contractors, whatnot. So, we have hunters on and off our properties. We need to address that concern also, I guess. Big game can also spread it around too. So I think maybe with due diligence, the help of proper rotations and better varieties, maybe we can help fight this. But we've got to get their governments to start helping with the spread too, and that includes all the vehicles that are moving around the dirt on our property. So that would be it.
Anyone else? Doesn't appear there's anyone else. Okay, I'll call for the question. You can vote 1 in favor or 2 opposed. That's carried 59.8 and opposed 40.2. So resolution number 8.
8-18A, reporting Club Route to Saskag, RM of Fertile Belt, number 183. Be it resolved that SARM lobby the provincial government to mandate that all Club Route locations found in Saskatchewan be reported to the Ministry of Agriculture.
Mike 1.
183.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we'd ask you to support this because you probably all became aware that the information came out that you need to pass a bylaw on your RM that forces it to be reported. We think that is putting the onus on the RMs. The government should take responsibility and make it mandatory in Saskatchewan. So I'd ask you to support this as well. Thank you.
Anyone else? Mike 4, go ahead.
Tom McKnight, RM 520. I'm not speaking against it, and I think it's a really good start, but it's not going to solve the problem. And you have somebody come in to pick grain up at your farm. Do you wash his truck when he leaves with it? Or you leave your place in Yorkton to go visit your son In Manitoba, do you wash your truck before you leave the yard? I don't think so.
Anyone else? No one else? Then I will call for the question. Vote 1 in favor or 2 opposed.
I am bound for the promised land. I'm bound for the promised land. Oh, who will come and go?
That resolution is carried 74.8% versus 25% opposed. Resolution number 9.
9-18A, how the type and quality of education can affect our social and economic outcomes. RM Marquis number 191. Be it resolved that SARM lobby the Provincial Ministry of Education and Ministry of Health and Health Canada to take action by implementing a vastly improved health education curriculum which more completely meets the students' true emotional and mental health needs, along with a much greater level of relationship skills, especially at the grades 9 to 12 levels. Be it further resolved that given the high rate of teenage difficulties, SARM lobbied the Ministry of Education to take the curriculum off pause and also make a higher quality of health education available and compulsory in the grade 11 and 12 levels, as health education is neither available nor compulsory in most schools at present.
Mike 2, would you like to move that resolution? Mike 2?
Yeah, I'm the presenter, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
can I have the sound on Mike 2, please? Try it again.
Sure. Wade Keeler, RM 191.
Okay, would you like to speak to it?
Yeah, of course, this is a lot more than dollars and cents. It's a common sense type of situation, but on the good side, economists do estimate 10 to 1 return on investments. I prefer more the common sense type of reasons, like a stitch in time saves 9, and whether that's lives or otherwise, and that ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It's just kind of a common sense thing, I guess. Education has had always had a big job to do. It's good that they got some of their funding that was cut returned to them. I think some more of that has to follow. I think this job can be done. We can turn this situation around a little bit, and I'm a little concerned if we don't, given all the violence and stuff that has happened.
Mike 1?
Yeah, I kind of get a chuckle out of this one here.
Malcolm, could you identify yourself?
Malcolm Herman, Arm 35.
Okay.
We've said for quite a while that we want our children to have it a whole lot better than we ever had it. So what do? We buy them all cell phones. The parents all got cell phones. We wonder why they're getting bullied. We wonder why they're committing suicide. We've taken the discipline out of the schools. We've taken the discipline out of the homes. So now we want the educational system to fix it. That is the parents' problem. If your child's got a problem, you fix it at home. You go to a restaurant, both parents are looking at cell phones and their kids are sitting there, nobody's talking, and we wonder why our children are having problems. There's some good parents that are going to a restaurant and eating with the children. For the most part, everybody's on these blooming phones. It doesn't matter where you go. Now we're having problems with this situation, and we expect the government to fix it. I encourage you to vote against this.
Mike number 3. Go ahead.
Hall 308. The previous speaker touched on it. It's social media is doing more damage to our children than just plain cell phone usage. There's other influences, of course, but social media does more damage to their minds and social interaction with other kids. I think that's a point where it has to be started. I can't see the government touching that.
Anyone else? Maybe not, is it? Okay, I think I had actually Mike 2 and then Mike 1. Okay? Go ahead, Mike 2.
McKay 588. I agree social media is a big problem. But if we don't start educating our children somewhere, it's going to remain to be a big problem. And the education system is where you educate. Yes, parents should sit with their children and talk with them and all of that, but they don't. So I think this is actually a good resolution because it has to start somewhere. So let's start with education.
Micro number 1.
RM 211. I have kids in school, and I look at their curriculum, and I don't like it. A lot of their curriculum is garbage. I wouldn't want to teach the kids that, but they're forced to do it. I teach the kids, actually we homeschool now, and because we don't like the curriculum that is being taught. If you guys want to pass this or whatever, vote on the curriculum, find out what your kids are being taught first.
And mic number 4.
Hi, yes, RM 220. We simply can't put our heads in the sand. I like to think that everybody in this hall are good parents and they work well with our children and give them the right tools they need. However, there are a lot of people out there that don't. This provides for those children, our children, also an understanding of what's there, how they should respond, and it's got to start somewhere, and ideally it should start at home, but it's not in a lot of places, so let's at least get it done in the school. Thank you.
Okay, I've got the gentleman at mic number 2 that moved the resolution. If you wish to speak to it, you'll close debate. It's your option.
Yeah, I'd like to respond, of course.
Okay.
There's been an awful lot of problems for an awful lot of years. I find it hard to believe that people haven't noticed that there's an awful lot of emotional problems with our children. Now, our health ed is mostly of physical ed content. They're not getting the emotional support they need at home. So where? This isn't like a job that doesn't need to be done. This is a human need according to Abraham Maslow. If any of you know who that is, Abraham Maslow, hierarchy of human needs. This is not a want, people. This happens to be a need. And if we overlook this need, I think we can expect more of the same. I really was surprised to even hear of the negativity of this. I'm shocked. I really am, to say the least. The education system, we would basically still be primates out of control if it wasn't for our education system. And that's pretty out of control of what? Out of control of our emotions. I'm not sure if the ones that answer to this, do they have a viable other working solution, doable solution for some of these problems? I'd like to hear actually doable solutions, not just what we shouldn't do, but what we should do that is actually doable. And according to all kinds of medical evidence
you
and
got 5
stuff.
seconds.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I don't
Okay.
need any more.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, the debate is closed and I will call for the question now. You can vote 1 in favor or 2 opposed. That resolution is carried. 50.5% in favor, 49.5 opposed. Resolution number 10.
Resolution 10-18A, landowner big game draw tags. RM of Calder, number 241. Be it resolved that SARM lobby the Ministry of Environment to make available or designate a percentage of the total big game draw tags in any particular hunting zone for the zone's local landowners.
Is there a mover for that resolution?
Yes.
Mike 3.
Roy DeWars, Calder 241. I move to.
Okay, if you wish to speak to, try and stand a bit closer to the mic. Okay, thanks.
I will move this resolution.
Okay, do you wish to speak to it?
No, it's self-explanatory, sir.
Okay, anyone else? Mike 4, go ahead.
Tom McKnight, RM 520. You need to defeat this. This is not going to solve the problem. 4 of us came from the RM at Paddockwood. Only 1 of us hunts. You give the other 3 tags, there's going to be 3 live deer instead of 3 dead ones. You got to give them to the people that want to hunt. There's got to be a solution to get rid of them out of farmers' fields and their bins and everything else, but this is definitely not the answer.
Anyone else? If you wish to speak now, you'll close debate. You waive that option? Okay. I don't see anyone else coming. So I will call for the question. You can vote now, 1 in favor or 2 opposed. Okay, that resolution carried 66.9% in favor, 33% opposed. Resolution number 11.
11-18A, decommissioning of dugouts and dams, RM of Wood River, number 74. Be it resolved that SARM lobby the provincial government to initiate grant funding to producers to help with the costs of decommissioning dugouts and dams.
Mover, Mike, number 3, will you move that resolution?
Yes, Lee Talon, RM Wood River, 74.
Okay, do you wish to speak? Go ahead.
No, that's fine.
Okay, anyone else? Not seeing anyone coming forward, so I will call for the question. You can vote now. Vote 1 yes or 2 opposed.
You got a diamond, you got 9 men, got a hat and a bat, and that's not all. You got the bleachers, got them from spring till fall, you got a dog and a drink.
That resolution is lost, 60% opposed versus 39.9 in favor. Resolution number 12.
12-18A, environmental guidelines, RM of Fertile Belt, number 183. Be it resolved that SARM lobby both levels of government to implement a graduated index for environmental guidelines which incorporates common sense into the guidelines. For example, where fish are found in an area where 2014 flooding enabled them to inhabit the area and only 1 fish is found, the area be rated as 1 on a scale of 1 to 10, but a year-round flowing river be rated as a 10.
Mover, Mike 1.
Arlen Kurtz, 183.
If you wish to speak, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to give you some background information on what we've endured in our municipality and what I've heard around the province. We had a $450,000 engineered project to replace a culvert in a major roadway. In fact, it's a Clearing the Path road in a major creek in our municipality. It was delayed by a whole year because of environment, and in the end it cost $1.1 million. I know of another case of a $250,000 project which ended up being $1.7 million. Our project had an environmental inspection done for road repair 1 day. 2 days later, an environment inspection was done so that they could move the power line. Couldn't the same environment people have done both inspections at the same time? The roadway and the power line were maybe 50 meters apart. The culvert replacement diameter had to be increased by 3 feet and had to be buried 2 feet below ground level, filled with 2 feet of gravel, because they found a northern pikefish in less than 2 feet of water when they did the environmental inspection. This delayed this whole project a whole year. These environmental issues, including permitting, various screening that's required, and other environmental guidelines, raised our project cost by triple, delayed it for 1 year. Thus, this was a PDAP claim project, so every Canadian taxpayer ended up paying for this project. But had this not have been a PDAP project, our municipality would not have been able to afford it at $1.1 million. We need to have a graduated system so that these are related to the type of environment we're working in. And I think if we don't offer an alternative to the present system, the government maybe won't look at it. That's why I'm suggesting my council is suggesting a graduated system, and I would ask you to support this.
Anyone else? Okay, it doesn't appear so, so that I will call the question. Vote 1 in favor or 2 opposed.
What you want, what you gonna do when Chevy John don't come for you? Tell me what you wanna do, what you gonna do.
That's carried, 93% in favor, 6.7 opposed. We'll do resolution number 13, and because we're pretty much halfway through, after that we're going to take a break. So resolution number 13.
Resolution 13-18A, mule deer chronic wasting disease notification, RM of Terrell number 101. Be it resolved that SARM lobby the Ministry of Environment to make reporting to RMs mandatory when animals tested from their area have tested positive for chronic wasting disease.
Okay, do I have a mover? Mike 1?
I have Kim Sapola, RM of Terrell, and I have permission from my council to speak. And
Okay,
we make
go
a
ahead.
motion.
If you wish to speak, go ahead.
Actually, it's self-explanatory, I think. I
Okay.
don't think there's anything to say to this one.
Anyone else? I don't see anyone coming to the mic, so I will call for the question. Vote 1 in favor or 2 opposed.
Dearest, oh, you're the nearest to my heart. Please don't.
That resolution is carried 92.2% and opposed 7.71. I just had an announcement here that there's a blue Acura. It's blocking another vehicle in its spot over by the trade show, the ITC center. And the license plate number is 511 KWN. So if you don't move it now, they say they're going to tow it. So if I was you, I would get out there and move that car, a blue Acura. Okay, so we're going to take a break now. We're scheduled to have a break. We'll be back here at 3:30.
1, 2. Yeah, we're going to get things rolling here in about 3 minutes. So we're going to get things rolling. We got another half of our resolutions to roll through. So in about 3 minutes, we're going to get rolling. Thank you.
I'm trying to sit down.
This isn't, you got...
This isn't bad.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on 14.
Well, you're the busiest man around, just like last week.
I got grief for 2 people. One person came up and pretty much understood what I was trying to tell him. But this Malcolm here, he wasn't happy. We got him straightened out, but he said, I never let people sing O Canada. I said they can't sing O Canada. I said, when did I say that? I believe he said the bicycle salute. You're not supposed to sing along. Yeah. That's like a piece of God Save the Queen. And then he said, oh, I didn't get that. He said, well, next year you should clarify because when the choir started singing, people thought you're not supposed to sing along.
Well, they have other things to worry about.
I know.
Those
Not a
type
big
of people
deal.
piss me off.
Not a big deal.
And who is that?
But he understood. He was okay.
Yeah.
Once we explained it. Okay. If I can have your attention once again. We're going to start on resolution number 14.
Resolution number 14-18A, mule deer hunting season. RM of Terrell number 101, RM of Excel number 71, RM of Willabunch number 42. Be it resolved that RM lobby the Ministry of Environment to have an open season for mule deer, the same as we have for white-tailed deer at present.
Okay, do I have a mover for number 14? I have a person coming to the microphone. Mike, I guess you're on mic number 1.
Okay. Hi, I'm Kim from the RM of Terrell. I have permission of council, and we will pass this motion.
Would you like to speak to it?
Recently there was a situation where I found from actually one of our directors for our division. We were never aware that there was even chronic wasting disease in our municipality, and it's the population of mule deer within our municipality is just getting out of control, and there's hardly any of them being disposed of. And with the chronic wasting disease going up and up, I think it's because, and this is just assumption, but a lot to do with populations. Therefore, I think that we need to increase the number of tickets for hunting somehow to accommodate this.
Okay, anyone else? Anyone else? Okay. Seeing none, I'll call for the question. You can vote 1 in favor or 2 opposed. That resolution is carried, 80% in favor, 19.9 opposed. Resolution number 15.
Resolution number 15-18A, Water Security Agency Land Control for Drainage Applications, RM of Nipawin number 487. Be it resolved that Sarum lobby the Water Security Agency to amend the drainage application process to eliminate the requirement of the municipality's land control consent until the Water Security Agency has completed and approved the plan of drainage and can ensure the municipality that it will not be held liable for any damage that the drainage may cause.
Okay, mover, Mike 1.
Hi, it's yeah, I'm in favor. It's Nipawin 487. I'll speak on it a little bit. We just feel the.
Sorry, you're prepared. You're moving it then, and you wish to speak to it.
Yes.
Correct? Okay, go ahead.
We just feel the process is a little backwards. Basically, we were told that you have to get approval for the person or farmer, whomever, to use our ditch, and then it goes through Water Security Agency. We would rather have them go through Water Security Agency, then we would know the consequences a lot more effectively, and then we would grant them permission to use the ditches.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak to this? I don't see anyone, so I'll call for the question again. You can vote 1 in favor or 2 opposed. That's carried. 85% in favor, 14.7 opposed. Okay, resolution number 16.
16-18A, Frenchman Butte number 501, PST. Be it resolved that all infrastructure capital projects costs be exempted from provincial sales tax. Be it further resolved that any provincial sales tax paid on infrastructure capital costs to date be rebated to the municipality.
Mover, Mike 1, would you move that?
Yeah, I'm the Reeve of the RM of Frenchman Butte, and I'll move that.
Okay. And if you'd like to speak, go ahead.
Okay. The RM of Frenchman Butte spent $135,000 on PST from April 1st to December 31st of 2017 on road construction projects. This morning, Minister Kading made reference to the municipality and its urban neighbors being approved for the New Building Canada Fund for a joint aerated lagoon. We are very grateful for this cost-sharing arrangement with both the province and the federal government. When the application for these funds was submitted, PST was not applicable to the project. An additional $660,000 in PST has since been added to the project. All of this cost will be borne by the RM, the village, and the town. And we respectfully request your support of this resolution. Thank you.
Mike number 2, go ahead.
Yes, I'm Randy Rook from the McCormick Park number 344. I'm just wondering if the mover would accept a friendly amendment to this particular resolution. It'd save us.
You'll have to, sorry, you'll have to speak. You have to stand closer to the mic. I know you're a tall man, but just
how's that?
Try and bet. Yeah, that's
Yes,
better.
Randy Rook, McCormick Park number 344. Wondering if the mover would accept a friendly amendment to that particular resolution. We're having the same problem with capital equipment as well. So that it would read, be applied for all construction projects and capital equipment. The RM, we are faced with the situation of having to raise our revenue 3% this year because of the additional, it's an extra $300,000 in the RM of Corman Park alone, just on PST. So we've got a huge funding deficit that we've got to cover as well. So again, I'm wondering if they would accept that as a friendly amendment.
Okay, I can ask the mover if you'll accept that as a friendly amendment?
Yes.
You will? Okay. Is there anyone else to speak on that amendment? I don't see any. So we're going to vote on the amendment, which is, I could probably read that. Be it resolved, oops, I just lost it. Be it resolved, I'll read the whole thing. Be it resolved that all infrastructure capital project and capital equipment costs be exempted from provincial sales tax. Be it further resolved that any provincial sales tax paid on infrastructure capital cost to date be rebated to the municipality. So we'll vote on the amendment.
Do you want any equipment added to that? Capital costs and equipment?
Is it capital cost and equipment?
On the second, be it resolved. I think so, yeah. So the second, be it resolved. Yeah. So we can just put it on the screen.
Put it back, if you can put it back on the screen. Okay, so we've got infrastructure, capital costs, and capital equipment to date. That's what was requested. So that's in the amendment now. I'll call for the question. We can vote in favor of that amendment or opposed to that amendment.
Changes. Turn and face the strain. Changes. Don't wanna be a richer man. Changes. Turn and face the strain.
Okay, that amendment is carried, 93% versus 6.9 opposed. And now we'll go back to the resolution. Is there any further debate on the resolution itself? I don't see anyone, so I will call for the question. You can vote now on the resolution. Vote 1 in favor or 2 opposed.
There's 1 for you, 19 for me. 'Cause I'm the tax man. Yeah, I'm the tax.
Resolution is carried, 95% in favor, 4.97 opposed. So resolution number 17, please.
17-18A, use of cash in lieu of dedicated lands, Arma Blucher number 343. Be it resolved that SARM lobbied the Ministry of Government Relations to make changes to the Dedicated Lands Regulations 2009 that will allow rural municipalities additional flexibility to use monies collected in lieu of dedicated lands for municipal infrastructure projects and fire services, thereby correcting the current urban bias contained within legislation.
Okay, Mike 1, would you like to move that?
Doran Scott, the administrator for the Arma Blucher number 343. I believe the council will move that.
Okay.
Speaking at their direction.
Yes, if you'd like to speak to that, Doran, go ahead.
Many of you may not be aware, but there is a requirement when subdivisions are performed to do a cash in lieu or dedicated lands. Typically, these are meant for parks and public facilities, recreational facilities. In many cases, those aren't conducive to rural municipalities, especially those that are close to the city. They tend to, our residents tend to take advantage of other people's facilities. One of the options in the 15 years that I've been an administrator, and the department's always told us, is you can contribute those to urban municipalities that are within your borders. And indeed, we have done that on occasion. This year we used $30,000 worth of public reserve for one of our urban municipalities. The issue comes about, though, that at some point in time, I mean, in our case, we're talking about tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars that could be better utilized. The fact of the matter is, currently, the Minister for Government Relations was speaking about municipalities working together, and currently the RM of Blucher and the RM of Aberdeen are jointly building a fire hall that can actually service 3 different municipalities. This benefits the public to a great degree. Water infrastructure projects, things of those natures, where, I mean, in a rural municipality, we just don't want to build a park in the middle of nowhere. It doesn't make sense. So we'd ask for your support for this resolution so that we can proceed with providing better services for our own ratepayers. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak to this? Okay, it doesn't appear that there is, so I'll call for the question. You can vote now. Vote 1 in favor or 2 opposed.
This is a story about Billy Joe and Bobby Sue. Go on, take the money and run.
That's carried, 91.7 versus 8.3 opposed. Resolution number 18.
18-18A, potential heritage-sensitive lands, arm of South Capel, number 157. Be it resolved that SARM lobbied the provincial government to remove the potential heritage sensitivity mapping and policy requirements for official community plans and zoning bylaws and the heritage resource review requirements for development that currently exist.
Okay, is there a mover for that resolution?
Jeannie DeRoche, RM South Copal, number 157.
Okay, would you like to speak to it?
Yes, please, I would.
Okay, Jeannie, go ahead.
In our many conversations with the Ministry of Parks, Culture and Sport, Heritage Conservation Branch, the word potential was continually reinforced to us. I feel to minimize our concerns over what appears to be a designation of heritage-sensitive lands, with absolutely no discussion or communication with the landowners affected. You will note in our resolution, it speaks to potential heritage sensitivity. As a municipality, we have no issue with properties that are heritage sensitive. The issue is with the Heritage Conservation Branch arbitrarily blanketing our RM as heritage sensitive, which forces landowners or potential buyers to clear land that before our new OCP and upgraded zoning bylaws had no markers on it at all. The issue lies in that nearly 2/3 to 3/4 of our RM was arbitrarily marked as heritage sensitive on a map with the Heritage Conservation Branch. This map is what triggers the requirement to clear the land of potential heritage sensitivity before any development can happen. We want that potential removed, as no one ever seemed to actually look at the area. The Heritage Conservation Branch is citing old, low-quality photos as a source of inappropriately marking land as heritage sensitive on their maps. We believe they should have taken this into consideration before they marked so much land heritage sensitive in RRM. Even though the Heritage Branch insists that this is not a designation, their heritage sensitivity map requires another step, and sometimes more, that landowners or potential buyers must take to sell, purchase, or develop, a step that did not exist prior to our RM's OCP and updated zoning bylaws. And we respectfully request your support on this resolution.
Further debate? Anyone else? No? Okay, then I will call for the question. You can vote now. Vote 1 in favor or vote 2 opposed. That resolution is carried, 90.8%, opposed 9.1. Resolution number 18. 19, sorry.
Resolution 19-18A, eligibility of incumbents in rural municipality election for Reeve, RM of Laurier, number 38. Be it resolved that SARM lobby the provincial government to amend the Local Government Election Act to allow councillors to take a leave of absence rather than resign their positions as legislated for urban municipalities.
Mover Mike Vore.
Alan Krauser, RM 38.
If you wish to speak to it, go ahead, but try and get a little closer to the mic, okay?
In January, the Reeve of the RM of Laurier resigned from council. When the by-election call was made, council was informed that according to legislation, if any member of council wanted to run for Reeve, they would be required to resign their seat from council. In order to set the nomination day and meet legislated requirements, council had to give great consideration to ensure that they had a full functioning council for their next meeting, as a number of important topics were being dealt with, including a tender opening and bylaw passing. All council members were asked to give great consideration as to when they submitted their names to run for the position of Reeve, as they are immediately considered to have resigned from council as soon as their nomination papers are submitted. This forced any councillor considering running for Reeve to have only one day to submit their nomination. As well, at the time, there was the potential that as many as 4 councillors were contemplating submitting their name for the position of Reeve. Should this have indeed occurred, the municipality would not have been able to conduct any business, as they would have lost their quorum for the 5-week election period. As As it is, council now has only 4 members, just enough for a quorum, and the municipality is looking at 2 additional by-elections this year to fill the vacant positions, plus the regular election which will take place this fall. These are all added costs for the municipality and greatly affect the functionality of the municipality. I urge you to support this resolution.
Anyone else? I recognize Mike 3. Go ahead.
This resolution addresses a situation that doesn't occur very often. This resolution could lead to more challenges for the position of Reeve by council members who may have a difference of opinion or a personal agenda. If a council member can take a leave of absence, this resolution creates no risk of losing their councilor position. And to be fair, would the Reeve be able to take a leave of absence, run against a councilor, and if the Reeve defeats the councilor, would he be then allowed to take a leave of absence and run for Reeve in a by-election for the Reeve? I ask you to defeat this motion.
Okay, further debate? Anyone else? I don't see anyone else coming to the mics. Okay, I'll call for the question. You can vote now. Vote 1 in favor or 2 opposed. That resolution is lost. 60% opposed versus 39.9 in favor. Resolution number 20.
Resolution 20-18A. Nomination call advertising. RM of Laurier, number 38. Be it resolved that SARM lobby the provincial government to amend the Local Government Election Act to allow municipalities the option to post their election notices in any print media or a municipal website serving the municipal area.
A mover for resolution number 20.
Alan Krauser, RM 38.
If you'd like to speak, go ahead.
In 2017, the local newspaper serving the Radville area closed. As a result, the municipality now has to use a newsletter circulated from the City of Weyburn to advertise all election notices and other notices required by legislation. Many community members have stated that they no longer receive any newspapers, and so the municipality is questioning the requirement to post a notice in a newspaper. In the new age of electronic media, and as the Local Election Act is currently being updated, the RM of Laurier felt that it was a good time for lobby for changes regarding advertising nomination calls to eliminate some of the restrictive wording and allow municipalities more freedom in posting nomination calls, and for that matter, other required legislated notices. I urge you to support this resolution.
Mic number 2, go ahead.
Yes, Hildebrandt, 181 Langenberg. Wondering if we could just propose a friendly amendment, appreciating that some communities don't have a local paper. We feel that our community is still a high percentage of the ratepayers, that's their only way of getting these notices. So we would like to just that SARM lobby the provincial government to review the Local Government Election Act and to leave it remain the same, with the addition of expanding the methods of communication with our ratepayers through other forms of print material and or electronic methods.
Okay, I'll ask the mover if you consider that as a friendly amendment.
Yes, certainly.
You would? Okay.
Yes.
We're working on the wording right now, so if you can, I picked up some of it, but you had said, first of all, you wanted to review the Local Government Election Act. So can you continue on that to include all the words that you want changed?
Well, that it would remain the same with the addition of expanding it to include other forms of communication through other forms of print material and or electronic methods.
So you would like to add print material and electronic methods after municipal website? So you want print media or a municipal website slash your 2 editions? Is that where you'd like to add it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You got those 2. It's going to be the same intent, basically. It's just given other options, correct?
Well, you can read into this that you don't have, and I appreciate some places can't use a local paper, but we want to ensure that the local paper still remains one option, as is the legislation reads. And then we expand it as the world is changing communications, expand it to other electronic and or websites.
For sure. So what are the 2 other options outside of the municipal website again, Terry?
We would say other print forms and or electronic methods.
Okay. Include?
Well, I would read website into that electronic
other
method.
Print
but
form. So,
yeah.
Okay.
I'm a kind of a computer e-tard, so bear with me.
So it's pretty much the same thing as what it says. I would think, you know. So we got print media and municipal website. Okay. So we'll keep it the same then? Are you fair with that, Terry?
What do you want to see?
Could we get some clarity on what the amendment is asked for?
Well, we want the legislation to stay the same, that the local papers get printed, but we want it to expand to allow for websites and other print as well.
Okay, so we'll add municipal website and other print. So print media and including, sorry.
Yeah, but again, the legislation is my understanding by the, you have to post it in the local newspaper.
Correct.
We want that to remain, but we want that expanded to where if there is no newspaper, now you can use websites or other forms of print.
Well, I just have to clarify this. The original resolution was asking for that because it was asking to post their election notices in any print media or a municipal website, so that was already there.
Yeah, but what I'm suggesting, if that would allow you just to print it in the Leader Post, and it may not get to where my ratepayer, to ensure that the local paper is still part of that in any media. It doesn't necessarily cover that.
So right now it's print media or website. It's not. It's actually saying or. So it could be not print media. Is what the resolution, the initial resolution states. It's an or.
I would propose that SARM lobby the provincial government to review the Local Government Act, and that it remain the same with the addition of expanding the methods of communication with our ratepayers through other forms of print media and or electronic methods.
Yeah, that's a pretty large amendment. I think if we can ask the initial sponsor if they're interested in doing that, but I believe that changes the intent of the resolution.
Is the mover still here? Are you comfortable? If you're comfortable with that, if you're not, then say so, if you please.
Alan Krauser, RM 38. Basically, we asked for that initially. His is just a lot more overpowering, so it doesn't matter. It just doesn't.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, we're going to keep it as is.
Okay, we'll keep it the wording with that. So we made an amendment. The review isn't in there though.
Yeah, please put the resolution back to the way it was initially submitted.
Because we have a review. Okay, could we read that operative clause one more time, the way it was, to make sure everybody knows?
Okay, if I can have your attention, I'll read it again. Nomination call advertising RM number 38. Be it resolved that SARM lobby the provincial government to amend the Local Government Election Act to allow municipalities the option to post their election notices in any print media or a municipal website serving the municipal area.
Okay. So we have this resolution has been moved. So you're wishing to debate this, Mike, too?
Yes, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Gosfreys Koyenga, RM of Corbin Park, 344. I'm speaking on behalf of council, and we were approached by our local newspaper editor, who also happens to be the president of the Saskatchewan Weekly Newspapers Association, and he feels in the first paragraph where it says newspapers are going out of business, he strongly disagrees with that. He said 75 local newspapers are currently operating in Saskatchewan, and readership is strong, and it's really local newspapers are a lifeline of rural Saskatchewan. And so the way the motion reads, the word "or" could suggest that you may not have to put it in the local newspaper anymore. You could choose to put it in, spread it through email or other means. So it would take away from our accountability as elected officials. So we also have an amendment to the resolution. It's even longer than the previous amendment. So I'm not sure if it
If you have an amendment that's going to be longer, please bring it up, and we can Ben can put it up on the screen of what the suggestion is.
Okay, yeah, I can do that, and
or please read it out right now. Just read it out what your suggested amendment is.
I think it would do what these folks wanted to do, but it would at the same time it would protect our local newspapers, and I think we need to support them. So the amendment would be.
Okay, go ahead.
Be it resolved that SARM lobby the provincial government to amend the Local Government Election Act to allow municipalities to post their election notices in community newspapers or any other similar print media, as well as encourage RMs to post their election notices on other platforms such as municipal websites serving the municipal area, social media, or opt-in text messaging programs in order to reach as many ratepayers and interested people as possible.
Okay, so we're working on the wording there.
I can bring it up.
Bring it up, please.
Is that it?
Who knows? Yeah. But they're going to put an and it's going to change.
Okay, we're just getting the amendment here, so make sure the wording is correct.
See, or other similar print media. Well,
Okay, while we're working on the wording on this, I'm going to ask the mover of this resolution to go to Mike 4 again. And just to comment if he thinks that this is a friendly amendment and it doesn't change the intent of the resolution.
I don't really think it changes the amendment at all. Read our initial resolution. Again, this is just overpowering. We're asking for changes.
So you're okay with the amendment? Sorry, you're okay with it? Yes or no, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. We've got the we had the words here. This is it. Okay, we can get a reader to read that amendment. This is amendment.
Okay, I'll read the amendment. Be it resolved that SARM lobby the provincial government to amend the Local Government Election Act to allow municipalities to post their election notices in any community newspapers or any other similar print media as well as encourage RMs to post their election notices on other platforms such as municipal website serving the municipal areas, social media, or opt-in text messaging programs in order to reach as many ratepayers and interested people as possible. I apologize for the delay. The lights are on the screen. I can't read it that good.
Okay, so the movers, you consider this a friendly amendment then? Are there any other comments on this amendment that's proposed? Okay, it's proposed, so we're going to vote on that. I'll call for the question. You can vote on the amendment now. Vote 1 in favor or 2 opposed.
Changes. Turn and face the strain. Changes. Don't wanna be a richer man. Changes. Turn and face the strain.
Okay, that amendment is carried 64% versus 35%. Okay, now we're going to open up debate on the resolution as amended. Okay, anybody want to comment on that? Mike, do you want to speak to it?
It's Randy Rook again from the same RM, McCormick Park. I think it should have read "and" in there. Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry, but it's basically a requirement that you post. If anything that's going to be, for instance, foreclosure notices, anything that's government stuff has to be published in a local paper. Period. Full stop. So we got to have that in there. It can't be something else. So basically, it's got to be a local community newspaper and encourage and any other print media. It's got to be an and. Otherwise, you know, it's just not going to work in any way, shape, or form.
Well, we put it up there, and we had asked to make sure that it was correct. If you're proposing another amendment, Mike 1.
Yeah, why can't we table this thing till they get it straightened out?
The motion to table then, Malcolm? You're making a motion. You have to make a motion to table it. It will be tabled. To bring it back tomorrow.
I'll make a motion we table this till whenever they get it straightened out or do what we have to do with it.
Okay, so your motion will then, it'll table it till point of privilege resolutions. It will be brought up during the point of privilege when you can get the wording figured out, okay? Yep. So, yep, yeah, I know. So I'll call for the question on the tabling motion. Okay. All in favor, vote 1, 2, opposed.
Changes. Turn and face the strain. Changes. Don't wanna be a richer man. Changes. Turn and face the strain.
Okay, so we're tabling the resolution. That's carried 89% versus 10%. So we'll go to resolution number 21.
21-18A, Modernizing Public Notice Requirements, RM of Lumsden, number 189. Be it resolved that SARM lobby the provincial government to review public notice requirements and expand the methods of communicating with our ratepayers. Be it further resolved that consideration be given to permitting the use of unaddressed ad mail, municipal websites, email, text messaging, and or creating a website similar to sastenders.ca on which municipalities can post public notices.
Okay, can I ask a mover for that? Mike, number 2, you're prepared to move it?
Yes, I'm Monica Murkowski, the CAO at the RM of Lumsden 189. And my reeve said I can speak today.
Yes. Please
So,
proceed.
okay, so we're just speaking in a broader sense. Everybody knows that a lot of communities have lost their newspaper publications, and we were very close to losing our own, and that would have left us with public notices being published in the Regina Leader Post, and that's obviously not going to hit the target audience for us. And so we had a discussion about options for publications. We were fortunate, in a month after our newspaper closed, someone else picked it up, so we're in good shape. But I know that a lot of other communities are not, and putting in advertisements in newspapers that are 60 miles away isn't how you want to advertise your, say, your Tax Enforcement Act, which has to go out every year. And if you're making zoning bylaw amendments, those actually have to be published twice in a row. So I guess what we're looking at is giving us the consideration to do it locally. We can send out unaddressed ad mail, like that all says. I won't beat it all up, but our planner suggested that maybe the government could devise some type of a website like SAS Tenders, where you could log on and subscribe to receive certain notifications, and your ratepayers would be notified that way.
Mic number 4. Go ahead, Mike 4.
Tom McKnight, RM520. I'm just wondering if it makes sense to table this with the other one and put something together so we're dealing with both of them. If you vote on this one, doesn't it make the other one redundant? We can be here all week doing this. And I table it with direction to amalgamate them if you want to.
So you're making a motion then to table till tomorrow?
With direction to amalgamate them, come back with one resolution.
I'm not sure we can do that, but we can table it. Okay? If your motion is asking for tabling, then there won't be any debate. It'll be tabled till tomorrow. Yep. So I'll call for the question. You can vote now to table this motion till tomorrow. All in favor, 1, and 2 opposed.
Changes. Turn and face the strain. Changes. Don't wanna be a richer man.
That is moved to table, 70% in favor, 29 opposed. Resolution number 22.
Resolution number 22-18A, SAMA delays, RM of Lakeview number 337. Be it resolved that SARM lobby the provincial government to invest more money into SAMA with the intent to better their staffing requirements and capabilities in order to avoid these costly issues that download onto our municipalities.
Mover for 22.
337.
And you wish to speak to it? Go ahead.
Well, the district appeals board that we have formed in the past with
you might have to, sorry, you have to speak into the microphone.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
The district appeals board that we have formed in the past with a number of surrounding municipalities had assessments appeals coming out late with a lack of time and personnel to handle appeals before they progressed to the appeals board. And that is very costly to all the municipalities involved. They need to hire more people in those peak times.
Any further debate? Doesn't appear so. I will call for the question. You can vote now. Vote 1 in favor or 2 opposed.
It's been a long time running. It's been a long.
Okay, that's carried 76.9 versus 23%. Okay, next resolution.
Resolution number 23-18A, self-represented lawsuits against rural municipalities. RM of Parkdale number 498. Be it resolved that SARM lobby the provincial government to change the legislation so that individuals cannot self-represent at the Court of Queen's Bench when they enact a lawsuit in an excess of $5,000.
Mover, Mike 4.
Yes, Shannon Hood, Parkdale 498.
Okay, if you wish to speak, excuse me, go ahead if you wish to speak to it.
The people are able to use these court cases to create difficulties for the RMs and individuals by bringing lawsuits in, and they represent themselves, and usually the RM or other individuals who, like the RM, are putting out a lot of money to have a lawyer.
Anyone else? Mike 4 again. Go
Paul
ahead.
McKnight, RM of Pataquid. I'd like to see people defeat this. To start with, it says self-represented lawsuits against rural municipalities, and then in therefore be resolved, it just says any lawsuit over $5,000. Right now, you can represent yourself in a murder case. I don't think we should be passing resolutions to take people's rights away from them. And quite frankly, RM would rather you didn't have a lawyer if you're going to sue us.
Anyone else? Do you wish to speak to it, realizing you'll close the debate?
I'm Shannon Hood. I didn't oppose this.
Okay.
I was just wishing to reply. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
I get what he's saying, and I do see his point, but the RMs are spending a lot of money on court cases that really wouldn't exist if it wasn't for them self-representing.
Anyone else? Okay, so I will call for the question. You can vote 1 if you're in favor or 2 opposed.
You can't outrun the long arm of the law. No, you can't outrun the long arm of the law. Billy placed his hand on Mary, and he felt.
That resolution is lost, 79% opposed versus 20.8 in favor. Resolution number 24.
Resolution number 24-18A, communication of Sask Power's approach to fire claims, RM of White Valley number 49. Be it resolved that Sask Power communicate this message with municipalities again to bring more awareness to the change.
Do we have a mover for that? Number 2, go ahead.
Yes, James Leroy, RM 49. I so move.
Okay, would you like to speak?
Just very briefly.
Okay.
Sask Power did mention it in their renderings to us this morning. It was brought out a year ago, but it was quite a surprise to our council when we approached this issue again. Basically in lieu of last fall's wildfires on the north side of the Cypress Hills. Sask Power was somewhat responsible in some of the instances. We would just like them to reiterate to all of us again as to how their policies have changed. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, I think we'll call for the question. You can vote now. Vote 1 in favor or 2 if you're opposed. That resolution is carried, 88.6 in favor, 11% opposed. Resolution number 25.
25-18A, Aging Power Infrastructure, RM of Lorbourn, number 254. Be it resolved that the provincial government and Sask Power put in place a program to replace this aging and dangerous infrastructure with underground power lines rather than replacing it with short-term overhead power lines.
Mover for that resolution. Number 2, go ahead.
Yeah, Doug Taylor, RM of Lorbourn. We want to move it, please.
Would you like to speak to it?
No, I think it's self-explanatory.
Okay, anyone else?
Yeah, Malcolm Herman, RM 35.
Yeah, go ahead, Malcolm.
I don't exactly know just where this is, but we had underground power lines in our area down by Estevan since 1985, and they're all going back overhead because the wrapping on the wiring is all cracking, and it's no more good. So now we're getting 3-phase lines, and the farms are getting run on overhead now, so we shouldn't go to the expense of putting underground in and then have to redo the whole thing in another 20 years. So maybe they should just redo the whole thing with overhead power, new ones.
They're trying to get it underground. Well, no.
Anyone else? Mike, number 4, go ahead.
Alan Krauser, RM 38. I work in the oil field in southeast Saskatchewan. We have power that has been trenched in underground. It's a nightmare, and they are going back to overhead lines. You don't want the cost involved and all the headaches. It's short-term gain for long-term pain.
Anyone else?
RM 337
sorry.
Mervyn here.
Go ahead, sorry. Go
We
ahead.
were getting underground power lines in our area, and some American hunters came in and said, we're having a real good thing happening here. The power's going underground. And they said, that's the worst thing you can do. We've had them for years. We've got nothing but trouble. So there you are.
Anyone else? Okay. I will call for the question. Now you can vote. 1 if you're in favor, or 2 if you're opposed. That resolution is lost. 74% opposed versus 25.9. We'll have a resolution number 26.
26-18A, Saskatchewan Real Estate Commission, RM of Mervyn, number 499. Be it resolved that SARM lobby the Saskatchewan Real Estate Commission to educate real estate agents in ensuring they are knowledgeable as to the type of development and use that is presently permitted for the property they are listing, as well as making it mandatory to disclose this information to the purchaser in writing. Be it further resolved that Saskatchewan Real Estate Commission implement fines and revoke agents' real estate licenses who have not disclosed the above information to the potential purchaser.
Mover, Mike number 4.
Brown, 499.
Okay, if you wish to speak, go ahead.
I think it's self-explanatory because when the property is misrepresented when it's being sold, it costs the owner money and it costs the RM money to try and enforce it.
Anyone else? Okay, it doesn't appear so. So I will call for the question. You can vote 1 if you're in favor, or 2 if you're opposed.
Listen to my story about a man named Jed. Poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up through the ground come a bubbling crude.
That resolution is carried 83% versus 16.5 opposed. I'm going to ask before we adjourn, we need representatives from the RM of Lumsden and the RM of Laurier to please come up to the stage. We need to talk about the 2 resolutions and proposed amendments before we adjourn. But before we do, just like to remind everyone, we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Be reminded that a trade show opens tomorrow morning at 8, and we'll go till 3:30 tomorrow. So be sure to check it out before we begin our day. Thank you.